They're definitely looking at Rondo. Rondo's definitely looking at them. It is an option. That was an option even before the Lakers made their moves. So we have to understand that. And I think, Max, especially, I want you to listen to this because it's incredibly important to bring this up about the Clippers. Let's understand that nobody is questioning the greatness of Kawhi Leonard as a player. As a leader, not so much. The word that I was given about him, because I don't know him, the word that I was given about him was the word indifferent. He's a kind of guy that methodically goes about the business of doing everything he can do to be ready. But in terms of being that rah-rah leader, galvanizing the troops, et cetera, that's not who he is. He has somewhat of an indifferent mentality. So because of that, we understand that Ty Lue is not the kind of coach that's known to tolerate such a thing. He's going to try to peel out of you everything that he can get. But it's important because when you're Kawhi Leonard, if I were talking to Kawhi Leonard, Brian, this is what I would say. All of these moves we made, these draft picks we surrendered, we did that for you. Paul George is here because of you. Because Kawhi Leonard wanted Paul George. He didn't want just another star. He asked for that guy. That's what he said. And he said, if you don't get it for me, I'm going to the Lakers. And I'm joining LeBron and AD. So let's understand, he essentially blackmailed the Clippers. That's why they gave up all they gave up to get Paul George, because they knew that's what it was going to take to get him. You put a franchise through that, you owe them more than 25, 26 a game. And I'm just going to be indifferent. You got to exhaust everything inside of your soul to make sure you do everything humanly possible to deliver a chip, because they did all of it, of course, because of your greatness as a player, but they did all of that because you asked for it. You got to step up if you Kawhi Leonard, period.
They did. I mean, if they wanted Kawhi, that was the cost of doing business. No one made them do it. They chose to do that. I don't know if he owes them all the things. But I'll say this. I think a lot of I hear what you're saying about Kawhi and his personality. We are talking about a two-time Finals MVP with two different franchises. But I do hear what you're saying about Kawhi and his personality. To me, the bigger problem on the Clippers than that is, and I think Rondo actually addresses both these needs, whatever you're looking for, who is organizing their offense? Like, if Kawhi is sort of your de facto point guard because Patrick Beverley's not really a dynamic playmaker, that's not ideal. It's not ideal. But if Rondo is organizing your offense, and whatever he is in the regular season, he is a stud every time in the playoffs because he knows all the plays, right? This is like the coach's time. Rondo's like a coach. If you have a more dynamic playmaker who hooks up his teammates like Rondo, then, Stephen A., you kill two birds with one stone. Not only do you get your leader, but you also get a guy who can organize your offense, turning Kawhi Leonard into an offensive weapon instead of like a de facto point guard.
Well, that's why I reported weeks ago that Rondo wanted to go there. And remember, I told you that before Rondo came on the show. And then you asked Rondo about, and I asked Rondo about whether he was married to the Lakers or was he open to moving. And he said, yeah. So we understand that. Plus, Kawhi Leonard has been behind the scenes telling folks they need a point guard. Wendy, you know this. He didn't tell them to get rid of Patrick Beverley, but he said we need a prototypical point guard to run a show. You know, the orchestrated offense. Well, in the end, Wendy, I'll give it to you by simply saying he's got to step up, period, because he does owe them everything. Like, he got to give it to them. Yes.
He's got to do some recruiting, which I assume has already happened with Rondo, because there are other teams out there who are interested in him, including the Atlanta Hawks. And frankly, the Hawks can outpay the Clippers. But one of the reasons why Kawhi and Paul George chose the Clippers was because of their deep-pocketed ownership and their prudent front office. They just won Executive of the Year. So, and these guys, by the way, just made a couple, and they were small deals, but the deals that they made on draft night, acquiring 4 second-round picks and Luke Kennard in one deal, and then picking up the 33rd pick in the other, another deal. That's one of the reasons why he puts their trust in him. So let's see what they do. Possibly there's a sign and trade out there from Montrezl Harrell that they can execute where they could bring back some talent. Possibly, in addition to Rondo, they could make a different move. The pressure is the pressure is on Kawhi every single day of the year because that's who he is as an organization. But it's really now on the creativity of that front office. And that front office has proven time and time again they're up to the task. So now they've got to deliver. And this next 72 hours or so, a lot is going to happen with the power structure in the NBA. And the Clippers are going to have to really go to work. And I expect them to do so.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.